Hola, y'all. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back, y'all. My name is Elle, and this is my perspective. I know, y'all, it is time for me to get ready to go to bed. It is nighttime. The light is a little bit better. I feel like it's better if I record at night, but I be sleepy. So let's talk about keeping the change, right? So in the United States, I was someone who relied heavily on my debit card and my phone, which is also my debit card to pay for all of my transactions. I was not a cash person, right? I was rarely a cash person. If I used cash for something, then I would likely tell you to keep the change, especially if I know you're about to give me some nickels and pennies. Like I don't want that. Keep it. Okay. I don't want it. I'm not a cash person like that, like a physical cash. Like I am a card person. And so when I got here in 2022, I was in Playa. So when I landed in Playa, I had a lot of efectivo, a lot of cash on me, and everything was cash. So the taxis, there were no Uber, so the taxis were cash. And when I was getting my food, they had signs that said solely efectivo. So only cash, cash only. So it's just like you're paying in cash and you're getting change back. And so I had a lot of change. And I found that in like February, March, someone came to Merida and they're talking to me and like, girl, like I got so much change. And like, keep your change. You will need your change. Like you need your change to go to the PP room. You need your change to tip the people who are bagging your things. Like you need change to do tips, right? It's a thing. And then like if you have street vendors, they're going to need cash. These mom and pop shops, they need cash. You keep your change. And so the person called back a little bit later and they were like, hey, like I have no change on me and I need change. Like these people need change like all the time. And I'm like, I told you to keep your change. What'd you do with your change? And they was like, I was just giving it to random people on the streets. I'm like, why would you do that? They were like, I don't want this money on me. And it's like, oh my goodness, like that's a thing. Like it's a thing. Like we just don't like this cash on us, like, right? It's crazy. And so it's happened two other times. People are just like, hey, like I got all this money on me, all this change on me, and I don't want all this change. I'm like, keep your change. You're gonna need to go to the PP room, you're gonna need to pay tips, you're gonna need it. So they're just like, and then later they're just like, I have no cash. And so I'm like, yeah, I told you you need it. And so this is me. So the other thing is our lifestyle changes. Like as we adapt to things, especially for those of us who have not left the United States before to actually live. It is a change, right? Even if you've left the United States, it's been like over a decade ago, like things you're like, ah man, like I forgot, like this isn't this. And so it's just like okay, so as you adapt, you start doing things that are more like, okay, this is no, I don't need to go there. Like I'm gonna do this over here. I'm gonna do this. Well, now you're going into places that have more people for you to tip. So meaning when I was going to Sam's, I did my own bagging. Even when I did to what was that, Uptown Walmart, I did my own bagging. At the very end, Uptown Walmart, I want to say that I went there two times and they had baggers. But all those other times for that entire year, there was no one. So I would just push my cart. If you know how it's set up, like you go through and then there's a whole open area right there next to the BBVA ATM things. There's a whole open area, and I would just put my stuff right there and bag my things, and then go down the escalator and go catch my Uber. So I was doing my own bagging. So I didn't have to tip anybody. And then for the Uber, I didn't have to tip anybody because I did it in the app, right? For Rappi, I didn't have to tip anybody because I was doing it in the app. Like I would tip you before you even picked up my food. Like I didn't have to do any of that. And so it's just like, ah. And so now completely different thing, right? And so it's just like, like I'm here for over a year now. And it's like, okay, I get it. I've changed my lifestyle, right? And so I don't even use Uber. So I've used Uber three times when I was, excuse me, when I was going to go get the colonics done, and then to initially get me from the condo here to the hotel. So those are my extents on using Uber. Everything else, I'm walking. I'm walking, I'm exploring, and I'm being nosy, right? And then I'm hitting up local stops, shops, and people, right? And let's see. when I go grocery shopping, I do. So here's the thing. So I'm gonna show you how it goes. So when I go grocery shopping, I am using my card. However, the people who are bagging my things, I'm using my Effectivo. So do you see how my Effectivo is leaving, but I'm not replenishing it? Because I'm not able to get change because I'm using my tarjeta. Okay, so because I'm using my tarjeta, I'm getting no change back, but I'm giving change away. So my big mound, my big surplus of change is now dwindled. I have run out of change. I have run out of change to the point of I needed to go to the grocery store, but I was feeling some type of way because I had no change to give to the people who bagged my stuff. And so when I knew that that was a thing, I actually went to the grocery store, picked up my normal things, which is my fruit, my fruit and some beans and maybe some meat, right? If I'm feeling like I want meat that day. If not, then it isn't. But anyway, so that kind of thing. And then I separated it out. Like I was like, okay, so I have 200 that I need to break. And this right here is this amount of money. And so I told them that just do this. And I paid Effectivo, got the change. And I was like, okay, so this little bit of change is going to be for the person who's bagging my groceries. And then I did another transaction in Effectivo, got that. That change was going to be for the person that cleaned my room this week, right? Because I'm like, I'm out, right? I'm like, I'm out. And so then I put the rest of it on my tarjeta. Now, how do you determine how much to pay and how much to pay? I don't know, right? I didn't consult anybody. But what I feel like is when I was going and doing my walking through the store, the things that I'm picking up, I get maybe 8 to 10 things. Yeah, maybe 8 to 10 things, except today I got 4 things because they had no baskets. But my 8 to 10 things, it's filling up just one bag, right? So like all of my things fit into one bag. Even today, they still fit in one bag. It's 4 things, but they fit into one bag. But I give the same-ish amount is a minimum of 20 pesos. There was one time where I only had 17 pesos on me. So that's what they got was 17 pesos. But I normally try to do the 20 pesos and with me walking around the store, I do see that there's plenty that I can get for 20 pesos, right? So I get the jicama sticks, I get my watermelon, things like that. So those are still within the range of 20 pesos or less. The watermelon, I will say, they do have some for 19 and some little change, but the ones that I get that are like sliced and red and filled up to the brim, those are like 20 to 22 pesos. So I feel like it's still like decent, right? So that's why I say 20 pesos is fine. I do see where some people are giving one coin, but one coin could be 20 pesos. One coin could be 10 pesos. One coin could be 5 pesos, 2 pesos, or one. Like I don't know what it is. I just see from where I am way back at the back, I'm seeing like one coin drop or 2 coins drop. Is typically what I'm seeing between 1 and 2 coins dropping. So I'm going to guess that it's probably 10 pesos that they're getting paid. But I'm paying the 20 because I feel like we can go find something for 20 pesos. And I also know that not everyone is paying when they get their items back. I also feel like, again, like something today, I had 4 items. So 20 pesos is above and beyond, in my opinion. So that's how I do that. For cleaning the room again, it's a 10-minute thing, 10, 15 minutes, and they're not doing much. They're doing it because it's mandatory, because that's a hotel policy that they have to come in once a week. They do see that this room is not changing. They're not having to clean up or pick up anything that I am cleaning my space. I'm using bleach and all those things. Even with the bedding, they see that the way that they folded it is the same way that it is when they come back the next week because the bed is made up, but I'm actually putting my bedding on top of their bedding, and then I sleep under my cover on top. I put I put bedding down on top of theirs, and then I sleep on top of my bedding and under my bedding, right? So my stuff. Same with the towels. It's my towels and things like that. So it's just that, they're just doing the ritual thing that they have to do. So I'm doing the 20 pesos. And so that's that. Let's see. To replenish, what I'm having to do is, again, I'm still getting used to the Effectivo. Now, I always have Effectivo on me. The amount does vary, but y'all, I know me. I know me. I can be at the grocery store, right? I can be at the grocery store, but if I'm walking by and I see me a frappe place, I want to go into a frappe place, I'm going into a frappe place, right? But I don't want to have to feel some kind of way that I can't stop in someplace because I don't have Effectivo on me, right? Because I don't have cash on me, because all these places don't take card. And I also feel like even if they do have a card machine, I don't want to pay using my card when it's a smaller shop, when it's a nine chain. I'll say it like that. So if it's a nine chain, I don't want to use my card. I want to pay in cash. So what that is um, I have to use like I use Square, right? So with me using Square, they're going to take a cut, right? Um, and I have to wait the designated time that I designated with Square for them to deposit it into my bank. And then when my bank says it's available, it's available. So do you see that there's a delay between when a client pays and when that money is actually in my bank account available to me. So in Mexico, I am not sure how long between me swiping are they able to actually have that as cash, right? And Mexico is a very cash heavy place. And so with that, I do not want to be a delay for them. I know that they're accepting tarjeta card so that they can get a bigger customer base, but I also don't want to allow that to be a delay for them. So I'm trying to be mindful of them as individuals. Even though it's a business, I'm trying to be mindful of them. So when it's the smaller places like that, I do go in with Effectivo, even if they take card. And then I don't know what that fee is. And so I'd rather them just have that money. So that's that. The laundromat, laundromat is different because I know that it is a bigger entity. The specific laundromat that I'm talking about, I know that it's a bigger entity. I did swing in and ask them if they took card, and they said yes, they take card, but it would be a fee. And they said that they weren't sure how much the fee would be until they saw what it was that I was trying to wash and how much it cost. And so I was like, okay. And so I just went to the ATM and got change, not change, but got cash and did it that way. The thing with the ATM though, the thing with the ATM is that anytime I go to the ATM and get Effectivo, because I'm not trying to go to the ATM as often as I go to the stores, right? I'm trying to go to the ATM if once a month, then once a month, right? And so with that being the thing, that thing spits out 500, the denominations of 500, right? And so it's just like, where am I going to spend this, right? Where am I going to spend this and break this, except at the grocery store, right? But then for me to go to the grocery, it's like, it's just, I just want smaller bills, right? I want smaller bills. Um, one of these days, I may ask downstairs if they can give me smaller increments, but I also see that they probably wouldn't want to make that a habit. So, I'll probably just continue to go to the store and break it that way. There is another, there is a mom and pop place that is busy. It's very busy, and I know that they wouldn't have an issue breaking my 500 and giving me change simply because a good bulk of the people coming in are spending between 1 and 200 pesos. So, it wouldn't be a thing to easily have change for me, because even though it would be 500 pesos that I'm giving, my bill would come um, over 100 pesos. So, places like that would be some place that I would go, but I just wouldn't want to frequent, there to get change because I prefer to have my fresh seeded watermelon. So, and then I can pay tarjeta for that. So, yeah, that's the thing. It's just the in and out with the cash. But you do need your tips, even if you're not going to the bathroom and paying the attendant, you are doing where you're doing tips, and then the small businesses, the street vendors, and so forth, they are taking effectivo. So that's what I want to say is when you have your cash, it is something different because, if you're like me, in the United States, I was a person that walked around with cash. I walked around with my card, my debit card and my phone. And so here it is a thing to walk around with cash. And so yeah, just it's a thing. It's a difference. But once you get that lifestyle down and you're more acclimated, then you'll see that the big bulk of change that you had will mellow out, and then you'll be like, oh well, now I need more change. And so you'll see it go up and down as you adjust and find your groove here in Merida, Mexico. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say on that. Oh, and even when I go, sometimes you can go to places, especially when you're going to Central, a lot of them will be Effectivo as well. When I go get my essential oils, and I'm doing an order, and she's just like, efectivo, solo efectivo, because it'll be like 1,400, just, and she's just like, girl, you got cash for this? I'm like, yeah, I do. I just really like all these scents, and I want multiples because I don't want to keep coming down here, so, just find your places and do those things. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, y'all put in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll chat with y'all later. Bye, y'all. Have a great one. Bye.